What is happening, people? Gab from Reptiles. Hope everybody's good. Surprise, surprise, this is going to be about ball pythons, right? Obviously, if that interests you, please consider liking, comment with any questions. I absolutely love it. Please subscribe, keep up with what I'm doing, yeah? So, this video there's probably quite a few of these about, but this was pretty much inspired by a comment that I got on Instagram. I won't go into too much details about it, but they were basically going along the lines that they weren't happy with my enclosures, which is fair enough, as it might not be good for other species of snakes. I don't know, because I specialise in ball pythons, right? But what I wanted to show you is a very, very basic way to keep your ball python happy and healthy, yeah? Because you need to look back to where they actually come from and the way that they would be in the wild. Alright, generally they're going to be spending their time down into rat burrows. It's going to be dark, quite squeezy, where they can be uninterrupted, yeah? They're essentially ambush predators. They don't bundle about all the time. They chill down in those rat burrows, and then they might look for a bit of food every now and then when they can feed, yeah? But a lot of the time they like being in dark, warm places. Okay, so I want to show you a really, really basic way, and also everything that you need as a complete basic to look after your ball python. So hopefully you can see everything. I'm going to adjust the camera. Actually, I'm going to pan out for a second and give you a view of everything that's there, yeah? Don't know if you can see it all, but I'll run through it all anyway, yeah? So first things first, yeah? You want to get yourself feeding tongs. These are good for feeding, right? Let's not mess about. Water bottle, spray things down. Standard water bowl. Definitely invest in one of these, yeah? Because what this will do is give you an exact temperature. You need to keep an eye on the temperatures, but I'll show you about that in a minute. Get yourself some antibacterial hand gel. It's always good before and after you touch the snake. Snake hook, the right sort of size hide for your particular ball python. Obviously they come in lots of different sizes, yeah? But depending on what you've got, depends on what one you need. You're going to need a thermostat, all right? Because that's gonna control the temperatures of your heat mat. And obviously, you're going to need something to keep them in. Now, people will probably look at this and be like, what? You can't keep a snake in that. Let me tell you, they generally thrive better in one of these than in a big enclosure, yeah, where they're out in the open and they feel stressed out. I'm telling you now, if you've got them in a big, I'm not saying that enclosures like vivariums are bad. Trust me, they're not. If you've got a pet ball python and you set it up right, they look absolutely stunning. But generally they're going to do better in something like this. They prefer the smaller, tighter, darker spaces, alright? So get yourself one of these. Now what you need to do when you get one of these, obviously make sure it's got a good, strong lid, so you can't just push it open. But when you get a brand new one, you're going to want to look to put ventilation holes. Yeah? Don't put ventilation holes in the top, because this is like a perfect little environment here. This is going to keep the humidity in, it's going to keep the heat in, but you do want fresh air coming in and out. So ideally put a few holes at the front, yeah, and a few holes at the other end, so you just get a little bit of fresh air coming through. In terms of setting it up, let's start from the beginning, yeah, because it's not always clear exactly how people do these things. So you want to take your heat mat, yeah, because obviously this is going to produce the heat that you've got, yeah, or what you want, shall we say. Now just to let you know, I keep my ball pythons right between 88 and 90 Fahrenheit, yeah, that's what I work in Fahrenheit. You lot can work out what that is in Celsius, just go on Google. But take your heat mat. Now the heat mat, this isn't necessarily the best size heat mat for this size tub, but it's just all I've got going spare at the moment. Ideally your heat mat wants to cover about 1/3 of your tub, yeah, so you've got like 3 sections to the tub, like one cover the back third of it, so that it's got different temperatures in the tub, that so it can regulate its body heat. Yeah, snakes, they don't regulate their body heat the way that we do. They will get their heat from sources where we can kind of produce our own heat, lose our own heat. They're like exoderms. They rely on heat source coming in. All right. So that's the first thing to look at. The second thing is take your thermostat. All right, and this is obviously going to give you the temperature that you want. Don't go exactly by what the temperature is on that. Obviously use it as a guide, but then what you want to do once this has been set up is take your temperature gun and check the heat on the mat. Yeah, you want it between 88 and 90. It's going to be good. Generally 88 is more sort of breeding season time. Cool it down for the females a little bit, but they're going to do all right between 88 and 90. Okay, it's definitely something you want to get right. In terms of humidity, I'll get onto that in a minute, but in terms of humidity, they're going to do well about 50-60% humidity. All right, that's a good point. Another thing that you need is one of these. It's a temperature gauge, yeah. But what you've got on this temperature gauge, it gives you the temperature, and it also will give you the humidity levels in there. So you just plant that. You would plant this end inside of the tub, and just keep this on top of it. That way you can have a look at the humidity, and you can work out what you need to do with humidity. Do you need to raise it? Do you need to bring it down a little bit? But generally keep it about 50-60. Okay, so that's a good tip. Probably about, I don't know, £2 to £5 I paid for that. No idea. I bought a big bulk of them, so I think I ended up paying about £2 each for them. But it'd be very, very easy to purchase. Now, setting up these, yeah, with your heat mat is very, very simple, but at the same time it needs to be done right. So what you need to do is take your heat mat plug. This is the plug attached to the heat mat. Now on your thermostat you will have a place to plug that in. Yeah? So you plug it in. That now connects your heat mat, so that will now be regulating the temperature of your heat mat. Very, very simple. Obviously plug your thermostat in to the mains. I guess that's pretty self-explanatory, but I do want to cover it. So you plug that into your mains. Okay, so once that bit's done, on the thermostat, what you're going to notice is generally it will have, say what it is, yeah? Your mains, which you plug into the wall, the heater, which is the wire that you plug your heat mat into, and this is your sensor. Now this bit's important, okay? This bit, in fact, this bit's very, 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 very important. So I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see the heat mat. Okay, so you've got your heat mat plugged in, it's plugged into the thermostat. Now you've got your sensor. Now do. Okay, and so your sensor needs to be attached directly to this. Now, the best thing you can use will be some aluminium tape, aluminium foil tape, something like that, or heat tape, electrical tape, anything like that. And the key, if you can, stick it in the middle. All right, stick it directly to it. Might not look the prettiest right this second. You can play around with that. That's really important, yeah, because that's going to go in your tub. It's going to sit on top of it, yeah. That way, you know that tub, or that heat mat, shall I say, is producing the right temperature. And again, this is how you're going to check it when you're in there. Once it's all warmed up, get your little laser and point it directly to the heat mat. All right, and this is where you want to put, say, your hides. This is the size hide that I'd use for here. Looks a bit squeezy in there, but I'm telling you, that's what they like. And this is going to vary depending on what size your ball python is. When you can use something like this, if you've got a brand new hatchling, something like this is going to be perfect. It's like a 9-litre shoebox. You're going to look at that and think that's tiny. Yeah, it is, but so's the snake. So it's a good size for that snake. You've got your heat, you've got your bowl. Yeah. Now, what I use, and people have got different opinions on this. I don't really mind what other people do, but what I will use is cocoa husk. Now I get all of my stuff from herb husk. It is good, and this is what it looks like. Yeah, it's like little flakes of cocoa husk. And so obviously you want to put the right amount in there, and this is what's going to hold your humidity in. It's just a quick example. Obviously you can play around with this. Yeah, spread it all about. Get your bowl. Alright, and I'm telling you, this environment, ideally you can get different coloured tubs. Yeah, some of mine I've sprayed black. Some of them I bought. So this one I've actually sprayed black, but I've left a little window to let a little bit of light in. But you can get like smoked tubs as well. Yeah, but important things to remember in here. So okay, so you've got that set up, got your thermostat set up. Yeah, get your temperature gauge and your humidity gauge. Get it in there. Yeah, obviously put your snake in, close it up. Make sure that do this before you get your snake. Yeah, let me just turn this back on. I'm trying to keep this video relatively short. Do this and get this set up before you get your snake. I know it's tempting, you're in a pet shop or you're wherever, you buy the snake and then you worry about it. And don't get me wrong, we've probably all done that. But you want to try and get the temperatures right and the humidity right, yeah? I'll do another video on humidity as well. But this is just a very, very basic way to keep your ball python, and to be honest with you, it's the best way. My snakes, I've got all racks here, here and here. They do really, really well in there. They eat well, they poo well, they shed well, and they breed beautifully, yeah, because they're kept in the right environment. So I don't know what this person was going on about on Instagram about how my enclosure wasn't right. That's fair enough. She's probably got an amazing enclosure, which I get. But I'm telling you, if you look at your ball python through the day, you've got this massive enclosure. I can literally bet my life savings on it that 90% of the time that is going to be underneath, it's going to be chilling in its hide. Yeah, that's where they feel safe, it's where they feel secure. So they'll thrive a lot better in a tub like this. Next thing that I want to cover with you is make sure that you've actually got a good supply of food. Yeah, there's amazing companies out there for any of my, I mean, I breed with my own anyway, but I do still buy, I do still buy frozen rats. I use Ridge Ray Frozen. The quality of their rat is absolutely amazing. There are other companies out there like Boss Rat and stuff. Trust me, you can get them. But if you've got a local reptile store, go and support them. Yeah, go and support them. But just make sure you've got a good source of food always. Yeah. So this is my feeder day today. I've got my frozen in there, just defrosting nicely. But just to recap, make sure your box is ventilated. Don't ventilate it on the top. Get your cocoa husk. It's going to hold the humidity well. It's easy to clean as well. Yeah. You've got your hide, got your bowl, got your thermostat, got your heat mat. You've got your probe. You've got your probe stuck to the heat mat, and then you're going to keep an eye on the temp. Use this to get your general temperature. Keep an eye on the temperature with this. Yeah. Obviously your snake hook's going to be useful, but that's pretty much it. If anyone's got any questions to that or any other opinions, I do like to hear what people think and want to say. Please comment below. Question me. Come follow me on my Instagram. It's Romans_reptiles. And again, please consider liking and subscribing. It means absolute well to me. Thank you so much for your time, people, and I'll see you in the next video.